Hello, welcome.
Γεια σας και καλώς ορίσατε.
Now, today we're continuing with our meat theme, and later in the show you're going to be cooking lamb with spinach, aren't
yes.
you?
But to start with, we're doing
one of my favourite things, one of the real classics of Greek, almost Greek street cookery.
That's
They're
right.
the kind of things you can just buy on the street and eat as you're wandering along.
You often see people going to work in the morning.
Spinach Spinach and feta triangles.
Lovely. You often see people going to work in the morning buying some of this pastry. It could be cheese pastry, so it could be spinach pastry, and eating them going to work, late at work, you know. And but you can eat them any time of the day, actually. And they're fantastic for breakfast, lunch, or an evening meal, or a light snack.
Yes, and I mean, one of the things which is going to be interesting for me is to see how she copes with this stuff, filo pastry. Because I've never worked with filo pastry.
Do you know what filo means?
Pastry. No, I don't. What?
It means leaf. It's so fine that it's like a leaf, and that's what it actually means. So you learn another new word today, Charles. I'm going to start charging you, you know, with all this.
Anyway, to start with, we're going to look at a film that you saw at Karystos.
Karystos is in Evia.
And you went to visit an old lady who collected wild
water, and she lived in this lovely old house, and she actually lived in one room. She cooked there and she slept there, just like my grandmother used to do in the olden days.
Terrific.
And she collected this wild horta, and she made these beautiful pies, and she actually cooked them on an open fire, which was really nice to see.
Let's watch it.
Well, I haven't seen this pie made this way before. Usually, they make this pie differently. They don't roll it in this way. It's really unusual. And also, she didn't use any cheese at all with her wild greens. She just used salt, pepper, and a little bit of cinnamon and lots of olive oil. As you can see, she didn't put her pie in an oven. She's actually cooking it on an open fire. Again, I haven't seen this before. It's fantastic. I'll tell you one thing, you need a lot of patience, a lot of patience to do this pie. She's turning the pies now, and they look nice and golden. Πήραμε φωτοπιτές.
Γιαγιά μου ήταν ειδική πολύ,
Ναι.
τις πίτες.
I just asked her if her grandmother used to make them this way, and she said her grandmother was the best in making these pies. Το κόβετε τώρα? Ναι, το κόβετε. She's cutting the pies into little pieces now, but personally I like a big piece. this. Oh, wow. Πολύ ωραία. Πολύ ωραία. Ευχαριστώ. Να με σερβίρετε.
Θα σε σερβίρω, βεβαίως.
Ευχαριστώ. Εντάξει. Ευχαριστώ. Εντάξει, 2 κομμάτια αρκετά είναι.
Πάρε και ένα μαχαιράκι τώρα.
Ευχαριστώ. Εσείς θα καθίσετε και εσείς να φάτε.
Όχι, εγώ γιατί εγώ δουλειά να κάνω τις τυρόπιτες.
Θα κάνεις τις τυρόπιτες. She's gonna make some cheese pies now, but I'll tack with this one. Oh, it smells gorgeous. It is lovely. The pastry is flaky. And the mixture is moist. It's really, really nice.
That was amazing. She just lives in that one room?
That's right. Her bed was ready made for her for the evening. When she finished cooking, she'll be going and resting there. Yes, that's how they used to live in the olden days. And a lot of people still live this way.
Yes,
you know.
yes.
And those pies were fantastic. The best I ever had.
Talking about pies, I see Solis has started doing a bit of frying of yours.
That's right.
I'm going to go away, leave you with him, and I'll come back with some
All right.
wines later.
See you later. Okay. First of all, I'm going to show you how to make the filling for our pies. You need a large pan, frying pan to start with, and a couple of tablespoons of olive oil. That's right. Now, we also need quite a lot of spring onions, a big bunch of spring onions, but have them finely slice, please, or finely chop, all right? You add them to your frying pan. Just give them a stir. You don't need to fry them first before you put your spinach. Just give them a stir to coat them with the oil. And then you need about 1.5 pounds of spinach. Now you have to wash your spinach very well because it can be very gritty and dirty. And then chop it, right? That's all you need to do. And you add your spinach a bit at a time. Otherwise your pan is going to go really full and it will start dropping from everywhere. Right, we'll add a bit more. It does, doesn't it, Solos? All we have to do now is cook this for a couple of minutes until the spinach is wilted. Now, once the spinach is wilted, you need to put it in one of these sieves. You need to drain the excess liquid, if you can see, and then squeeze it a little bit, push it with the back of a spoon to take all the liquid out, because we don't need any liquid. The spinach will get all soggy and horrible. Right. Okay. Put the spinach in a large bowl, and we need to put the rest of the ingredients now. In here we've got 1/2 pound, 8 ounces of feta cheese. All you need to do with feta is just to crumble it with your hands. Right? Solos, can I give you that?
Yes.
The next ingredient is mizithra. Now we've got about 8 ounces of mizithra, the same amount. Now if you can't get mizithra, use ricotta cheese. It's just as good. And I like the 2 different types of cheese here. You've got a salty cheese and a sweet cheese. And I think that both cheeses go really nicely together. Now in Greece, they tend to use just feta, but I prefer, as I say, using 2 cheese. Right, the next ingredient is 2 eggs, some fresh mint. You need about 2 tablespoons of fresh mint. The same amount of dill, finely chopped, and of course parsley. Again, the same amount. Again, I'm going to use a little bit of nutmeg to give it a little bit of kick, of a kick. And I'm also going to use freshly ground black pepper. All right, mix them all together. I'm going to taste it before I put salt, because feta cheese can be salty. We need to put a little bit of salt, just a touch. So don't put the salt beforehand. Right, our mixture is ready. Now the best thing is to let
the mixture rest for half an hour if you can in the fridge. But we don't have time to do it here, so we're going to go to our recipe. Now, remove your filo pastry out of the packet, and before you open it out, you have to cut it. Cut it in the middle, and then cut it again in half. So you've got 4 halves like this. Now, another thing that you have to, is very important, is to cover your pastry, otherwise it goes very dry, and it sort of crumbles away. It becomes like paper. Okay. I'm going to show you how to make these triangles now. Take 1 strip of pastry. I have to do it this way. Brush it with melted butter. You need to brush it with butter, otherwise it'll be too dry. And take just 1 teaspoon of the mixture. Put it in the end of your filo. And start folding it from left to right. It's like folding a flag, actually. Keep doing that until all the pastry is done, as easy as that. Now, if you're going to bake this, you need to brush them with more butter and put them in a tray and bake them for only 25 minutes. If you're going to fry them, you don't do that. How are you doing, Solos?
Fine.
Now,
fine.
Great. These are lovely.
Look good.
Fantastic.
I actually prefer them when they're fried. It's a bit naughty.
Do you prefer them when they're fried? Well, you're slim.
Naughty but nice.
Naughty but nice, yes.
Charles,
I,
you must
I'm
try
afraid
one of these.
I couldn't stay away any longer.
Solos, why don't you have one?
please.
Have you noticed he cooked 3? What do you think of them?
I think they're absolutely delicious.
I
Very
love them.
spinachy.
Very spinachy.
Very spinachy, but I like that because I love spinach. And another thing I think which comes through beautifully, and that's the mint.
The mint, yes.
The mint
yes.
really sort of picks... I have to say, Loulla, these are much better than any of these that I've ever met in Greece. I really mean that.
I get people from Greece asking me the recipe. And of course,
These are just brilliant.
It's fantastic.
You never get bored of them either.
It's incredible. Okay. Now, we're going to take a break now. We'll be back afterwards, and Loula's going to be cooking some lamb with spinach, and I'm going to have some wine.